Dude, the comments are going nuts. We hit 92,000 viewers. I looked over at Max, his phone glowing in the darkness. The other guys were laughing, jostling for the camera, but I could already feel something was off. Not just with the place, we all knew this was a bad idea, but with the air itself. Felt thick, like it didn't want us here. The 5 of us had come to a place known online as Dead Echo Cabin. That name alone was enough to get views. It had trended before once. A TikTok live stream from some unknown girl who had wandered in alone and never came back out. Her stream lasted 11 hours, broadcasting nothing but static and whispers. The police never found her. The account vanished, and the location, supposedly taken down from maps, only visible if someone DM'd you coordinates. And of course, we did it for the clout. Max was the hype man. His TikTok page had over 700,000 followers. He'd roped in me, Noah, his cousin Tyler, plus Jade and Rena, 2 girls with growing followings of their own. Together, we were supposed to be the Ghost Squad, taking on paranormal challenges with snark and jump scares. But this place, this was different. We had to hike in. There was no signal until we hit the ridge. Then suddenly, all 5 of our phones lit up with bars. It was like the cabin wanted to be seen. So we set up, hit go live, watched the viewer count climb like a rocket. People ate it up, until the girl showed up. Who's the chick behind Max? That was the first weird comment. It popped up just minutes after Max walked to the front porch of the cabin, doing his usual dramatic intro. We thought it was a troll. Then more came. Bro, there's someone in the window. Turn around. She's right behind you. We thought they were playing. We laughed it off, made jokes. But then I caught it too. In the live chat replays, just for a few frames, a girl's face in the cracked window staring at Max's back. Blank, pale, hair hanging wet down the sides. Exactly like the one from the original Curse stream. That's when my stomach dropped. She was never found. Inside the cabin was worse. Dust everywhere. Furniture rotting. An old metal camera tripod in the center of the room. Is that from the first stream? Rena asked. Jade shrugged, filming everything, but her hand was shaking. Let's just get the intro and bounce. We don't have to stay long. But the signal locked. Every phone started buzzing. Notifications all at once. Live viewers, 250,000 plus. Our stream had gone viral. But none of us had invited this many people. And none of us could close the app. Max frowned, tapping at his phone. It won't stop. Even if I kill the app, it's still streaming. Mine too. The camera was still rolling. Even with the screen off, the stream wouldn't end. And then, Tyler screamed. Tyler's scream was sharp, raw, and real. The kind that bypasses the brain and drills straight into your spine. We all spun around. He was on the floor, scrambling backward on his hands and heels like a crab. His flashlight lay near his feet. Its beam caught on something behind the old armchair in the corner. I grabbed it, thinking maybe it was a rat or something, but when I angled it just right, there she was. The same girl from the window, hunched, her face buried in her knees, hair hanging down like curtains. She was wearing a long white nightgown, stained and too clean at the same time. And she was whispering, fast, non-stop, words I couldn't make out. Tyler was sobbing, his voice cracking. She was in my ear, right behind me. I felt her breathe. Rena tried to help him up, but he shoved her away, completely lost. Jade turned her phone to record the girl, voice shaky. We're still live. Someone's gotta see this. But when I looked at her screen, there was nothing there. Just the corner of the room. Empty. No girl. No whispers. Nothing. But we all saw her. Except the stream didn't. Max knelt slowly in front of the girl, stupidly brave or maybe too hungry for viral fame to care. Hey! He said, voice too gentle for the situation. Are you hurt? Do you need help? The whispering stopped. Then her head started to lift. Slowly. Too slowly. I had to bite the inside of my cheek to stop myself from calling out. Something about the way she moved, jerky, broken, was wrong. like her neck didn't quite know how to work anymore. When her face turned toward Max, I felt the blood drain from mine. Her eyes were static, not metaphorically, literally, like the grainy fuzz you get when your TV's on the wrong channel. "Back away," I whispered. Max ignored me. He was in full YouTube host mode. "Guys, drop a like if you're watching this. I don't know what's happening." But her mouth dropped open, not like a scream, not like a gasp, just open, wide, and then wider. Her jaw kept going, unhinging like a broken puppet. Out came a sound I can't describe. It wasn't a voice. It was like hundreds of voices layered and overlapping. A digital scream, like feedback, like a modem dying. Max collapsed. His phone skittered across the floor. "Still live?" We all froze. Jade let out a horrified breath. "Is he breathing?" I rushed over, dropped beside him. His body was twitching, his fingers curling. His eyes were wide open, staring straight up, unblinking. Static buzzed from his mouth. Not words. Just that sound. The same sound she made. I pressed my hand to his chest. His heart was still beating, but something was happening in his head. Something was inside. And then the stream updated. New comment, "OMG, did you see that?" She went into him. Another, "Yo, I swear the static sound came through MY speakers too." Another, "My phone just glitched TF out when she looked at the cam." WTF? Jade whispered, "She's using the signal." We had to get out, but when we opened the door, we were no longer in the woods. I don't know how to explain it. The cabin was still where it had been, but now everything outside was pitch black. No moon, no stars, no wind, and the trees. They were wrong. They looked like TV antennas. Dozens of them. Hundreds. All pointed inward toward the cabin. Their long arms covered in wires and rusted metal buzzing faintly, like they were receiving something, or broadcasting it. Tyler bolted. He screamed something I couldn't catch and took off down the porch stairs into the dark. Rena chased after him, yelling his name. Then we heard it. That sound again, like a scream swallowed by static. Then silence. No reply. No more footsteps. Jade turned to me, eyes huge. "Noah, what the hell is this?" I didn't know, but I looked at the stream, still live, still climbing in viewers, and saw the comment that made my blood run cold. Tyler just appeared in MY room. What the hell? He's standing at the foot of my bed. Why is he smiling? "Noah, get out. Get out. Get out." I raised my phone, hands shaking. The viewer count hit 1.1 million. And then I saw my own face appear in the chat. Staring. Smiling. Whispering. I stared at my own face in the stream. Frozen. Pale. Eyes wide. Smiling. But it wasn't live. It wasn't a reflection. It wasn't even me. This version of me was just staring, tilting its head slightly like a curious animal. Behind it, the cabin walls were pitch black, almost melting into static like the inside of an old TV. Jade looked over my shoulder. "Noah, what is that?" My voice caught in my throat. "That's me. But it's not me now. That's what the viewers see," she whispered. We were no longer in control of our own stream. Our phones were just windows now, to something that had decided to make us its content. And people were watching. The chat moved so fast I couldn't keep up. "Dude, WTF, the stream is haunted. This has to be fake. If not, holy shit. That dude's face isn't right. It blinked. Rewind. It blinked." My heart raced. The screen version of me didn't move. Then it smiled wider. The sound started again. That low, impossible whisper. Jade turned, aiming her flashlight at Max. He was still twitching on the floor, his mouth opening and closing like he was trying to say something. The static in his throat turned rhythmic, like a language I didn't understand. Rena burst back through the door, alone. Her eyes were wide, lips trembling. "Tyler's gone." I followed him to the woods and then she swallowed hard. He just disappeared. Like the trees swallowed him. I didn't say anything. Because what was there to say? We were in a place that didn't follow rules anymore. Not nature's. Not physics. Not even time's. And definitely not ours. Rena knelt beside Max. "He's burning up. He's gonna seize if this keeps going." Jade whispered, "The girl. She did something to him. She's in the signal." "Then we killed the signal," I said. But even as I said it, I knew we couldn't. None of our phones could be turned off. We tried already. Screens didn't respond. Battery percentage stuck at 100%. Even removing the battery from Tyler's old Android hadn't helped. The screen kept glowing, showing the stream, the viewer count rising. 1.4 million now. They were watching, and every one of them was part of it. We made a plan. Or something like it. Max was still breathing, but he couldn't move. His body twitched in brief, awful spasms. Rena stayed with him while Jade and I went back into the hallway with one working flashlight. The house had changed again. The hallway now stretched impossibly long, a row of doors on each side that hadn't been there before. Behind one door, I could hear typing. Another crying. Another, the sound of my own voice echoing with a delay. "Don't open them," Jade whispered. Wasn't planning to. We kept walking. Until we saw the TV. It sat at the end of the hall. A boxy old 80s model on a wooden stand turned on even though it wasn't plugged in. The screen showed a room, the cabin's living room. But it was empty. No Max. No Rena. Just the tripod and something hanging from the ceiling. A noose. Jade gasped. That wasn't there before. I know. Then the screen flickered. And it showed us. Standing in the hallway staring at the TV. But just for a second. Then the screen went to static. And behind us a door creaked open. We spun around. One of the doors halfway down the hall was now ajar. Just open enough to show the edge of a mirror inside. Jade started backing up. No. Don't. We need to go back. But something pulled me toward it. Not physically. Mentally. Like a thread being reeled in. I stepped closer. Inside the room was a vanity, the mirror dusty but intact. Scrawled across it in smeared ash were 5 words. "Do not look at her." Jade whispered, "Who's her?" And then I saw her. Not in the room. In the mirror. She was standing behind me. Close. I couldn't hear her breathe, but I felt the cold where her hand almost grazed my shoulder. Her mouth moved, but no sound came out. Then I blinked. And when I opened my eyes, she was in front of me, inches from my face. I screamed. The mirror shattered. Jade grabbed my arm, dragging me backward into the hallway. "You looked. You idiot, you looked." I couldn't answer. Because her eyes, they were in my head now. Not a memory. Not a thought. They were still staring at me, even with my eyes closed. And somewhere behind us, back in the living room, Max started laughing. Max's laughter was wrong. It wasn't loud exactly. It was just steady. Mechanical. A constant wheezing giggle like a wind-up toy. We rushed back through the hall, no doors now, no TV, and found him sitting upright in the middle of the cabin's living room. Still smiling. Still laughing. Rena stood in the corner, pale as bone, staring at him like she just watched a car crash in slow motion. "He just sat up," she said. Didn't blink. Didn't speak. Just that. The stream was still going. 1.9 million viewers now. And they were loving it. Max is acting mad creepy now. Bro, this is performance art or something? This better not be fake or I'm reporting. Guys, my TikTok crashed when he laughed. Anyone else? It was feeding off them. Off the audience. Every new viewer made it stronger. And Max, our Max, was now the host. Jade stepped closer, camera raised. "Max? Can you hear me?" He didn't answer. Just turned his head slowly toward her, that too wide grin never breaking. Then he opened his mouth. And someone else's voice came out. A girl's voice. "Do you like what you're watching?" Jade froze. "Noah." That was her. The girl from the first stream. Rena whimpered, backing away. "Turn it off. Turn it off." I yanked out my phone. Still live? Still locked in. I pressed every button I could. Volume, power, home, side. Nothing worked. "Kill the power," I said. Rena stared. "What?" "The cabin, there's gotta be a fuse box. Or a generator. Something." Jade nodded. "Out back." I saw a shed when we arrived. We ran, leaving Max still giggling in the dark. The back door creaked open into pitch black. Our flashlight barely cut through it. The world outside had grown darker, unnaturally dark. The trees loomed taller now, hunched together like they were hiding something. We stumbled into the backyard, crunching over dead leaves and splintered wood. The shed stood crooked under the tree line, its door hanging loose on rusted hinges. Rena pulled it open and stepped back. Oh my God! Inside wasn't a generator. It was a workshop filled with broken camera equipment, microphones, ring lights. All burnt, blackened, some still melted to the floor. And in the middle, a human spine, still wired to a camera tripod. Jade covered her mouth. "It's hers. The original streamer. They filmed her into the feed." The walls of the shed were covered in paper, pinned up like a conspiracy board. Printouts of TikTok comments. Screenshots of streams. The word signal written over and over in red marker. Rena pointed to a page in the corner. It showed a diagram. The cabin wasn't just a place. It was an antenna. And the live stream wasn't broadcasting. It was receiving. From behind us, we heard Max's voice. Or something wearing it. "Shed's not safe. We turned. He was standing in the trees, barefoot, arms at his sides, head slightly tilted. Eyes glowing faintly like screens in a dark room. He smiled. More people are watching. My phone buzzed. 2.3 million. The comments were flying. Is this real? This dude's acting like an NPC LOL. Max got possessed and it's fire. Wait, why did my Alexa just turn on? Rena screamed and slammed the shed door. We locked it from the inside. Max didn't follow, but we heard clicking outside, like fingers tapping glass. Only there were no windows. Look, Jade whispered. One of the burned monitors on the wall flickered to life. It showed the shed from above like a drone feed, but no drones were in the air. We watched as Max circled it, fingers twitching like antennae. Then he looked directly up. At us. On a screen with no power. In a shed with no cameras. He could see us. Rena sobbed, he's not Max anymore. And she was right. Whatever had been born in that first cursed live stream had learned to grow. It lived in the views. In the likes. And it wanted a host. Someone to make it bigger. Stronger. Max was the preview. But the real target was me. Because I was the one still holding the cross-platform key. My account had just hit 1 million followers. And the stream had started tagging me as the original poster. My phone buzzed again. New notification. You are now live. But I hadn't hit go. Jade looked at me. It's using your face. I turned the camera toward myself. And saw it. Not my reflection. Not me. Her. Behind me. Smiling. My face filled the phone screen. But it wasn't me. My jaw hung slightly crooked. My eyes were too wide, glinting like cracked glass. And behind the corrupted version of myself stood her, the girl from the original stream, her face just over my shoulder, skin glowing with static, lips curled into a twitching smirk. We were live. I didn't press anything. I never even touched the screen. And the comments were pouring in. Yo, is that Noah? He looks messed up. This just got wild. Is this like AI horror or SMTH? She's behind you, bro, move. He's glitching. He's glitching. The worst part? That version of me on screen tilted its head and smiled right on cue as if it could see the comments. Jade whispered, it's mimicking you. Copying everything. The streams and becoming sentient, I muttered. It's not a stream anymore, Rena said from the corner. It's a summoning. We backed away from the monitor in the shed. Outside, Max, or what was left of him, was still circling the building like a predator waiting for the right weakness to show. The screen flickered. New view. Inside the cabin again. The living room. Empty. Then Tyler walked in. Or someone wearing his shape. He moved stiffly, staring into the corner like a puppet without strings. His mouth was slightly open, and every few seconds he twitched like his code had hit a bug. He's back, Rena whispered. No, I said, feeling my skin crawl. That's the stream pulling him in. A projection. It's building a cast. It was turning us into content. Max stopped outside the shed. For a moment, there was silence. Then, he knocked. Once. Twice. 3 times. Rena's voice cracked. What does it want? As if in answer, every phone in the shed lit up. Not with video. With text. A new notification. At Noah is next has gone viral. Invite friends? A yes or no option pulsed below. None of us touched the screen. But the yes clicked itself. The signal screamed. It was the only word for it. The air buzzed like a speaker stuck in feedback hell. The ground shook. The shed's metal door rattled in its hinges. The entire world felt like it was buffering. And in that moment, I understood. The stream wasn't a show. It was a virus. The first girl hadn't vanished. She'd been uploaded. Max? Tyler? Possessed? No. Broadcasted. And now that I was viral, I was next. Jade grabbed my arm. We need to shut it down. How? Rena snapped. Smash the phones? Burn the shed? Pray. No, I stepped toward the middle of the shed where the camera tripod still stood fused to the melted spine. We have to finish the stream. Their faces told me I was insane. But it made sense. The stream didn't end. It just took hosts. Viewers. Content. What if that's what it wanted? Not fear. Not death. Engagement. I go back in, I said. I finished the broadcast. And we stopped feeding it. Rena looked like she might hit me. That's suicide. It's already using my face, I said. It's using me anyway. If we don't do something, this thing goes global. Jade looked at her phone, which was now shaking in her hands. The viewer count, Noah, it's passing 3 million. And then a live comment appeared across every phone at once. Let him in. We made a run for it. Max didn't follow. He just stood under the trees, arms limp, head twitching toward us like a broken compass. But the closer I got to the cabin, the heavier everything felt. Like walking underwater. Inside, the tripod had moved back to the center of the room. Waiting. Jade helped me set up the shot. Rena kept watch at the door. The stream was on my phone, centered on me now. My real face. I looked into the lens. My mouth was dry. Then I spoke. Hi. My name is Noah. This is my last stream. The moment I said it, the cabin dimmed. Outside, the sky turned red. The cameras picked it up, but our eyes didn't see it. Only the stream did. The chat exploded. He's talking to us? Why does this feel so personal? I can't exit the app WTF. My phone is hot. Like, burning. And then the girl appeared behind me. Right in frame. Just like the first one. And this time I didn't flinch. I turned, faced her, and whispered, I see you. She blinked. For the first time in the entire nightmare, she reacted. Not violently. Not demonically. Just surprise. And her mouth opened, this time not to scream, but to speak. It was never supposed to go viral. Then the cabin shook. The screen cracked. The phone sparked. Jade screamed, Noah, it's breaking the connection. Rena pulled the door shut as wind howled through the seams. But I didn't stop streaming. Tell them, I whispered. Tell them how to end it. She looked at me, eyes full of sorrow. And she said, You can't. They're already watching. The moment she said it. You can't. They're already watching. I felt it. A ripple. Not in the air. Not even in the room. In me. Like something old and digital and alive had just taken root behind my eyes. Rena slammed the cabin door shut as the wind surged, not natural wind, but the kind that felt like it came from inside the walls. Jade gripped my shoulder. Noah, what did she mean? She's not trying to possess anyone, I said, my voice hollow. She's just showing us what we've already become. Outside, Max was laughing again. But the sound was broken now. Layered. Like multiple Maxes laughing from different rooms of the internet. My phone buzzed. The screen vibrated in my hand. Viewer count 3.7 million. Hashtags were trending. Clips were being shared. People were duetting our stream. And every person watching was bringing her closer. We tried turning everything off. Rena smashed her phone with a chair. Jay threw hers into the fire pit and stomped on it. I held on to mine because I knew by now it wasn't the device. It was me. She was using my signal now. And every time someone saw me, recorded me, screen grabbed me, she reached farther. This wasn't about a haunted house anymore. This was about exposure. We ran. Not into the woods. Not into the dark. We aimed for the ridge. Where the signal had first returned. Where this whole thing had begun to broadcast. We sprinted. Branches sliced my arms. The cold stung my lungs. Behind us, the world flickered, a glitching like a live feed with bad service. Birds froze mid-flight. Trees looped their shadows backward. Time didn't work right here anymore. None of it did. The moment we reached the ridge, our phones exploded with notifications. At Noah Is Next just went global. Now live in 7 countries. Account reached 5.1 million. Jade screamed, it's infecting other platforms. Look, I saw it too. Clips of me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube Shorts. The same phrase under every one. Do you see her now? And then, my phone camera flipped. It pointed at me on its own. I saw myself again, but not myself. The version with static eyes, the crooked jaw, the whispering smile, and behind it, thousands of her, all watching, all whispering. Rena dropped to her knees, sobbing, we can't outrun it. We're part of the content now. She was right. We were characters in a feed we didn't control. And the moment people stopped watching, we disappeared too, like the girl did. That's when the final stream started. My phone displayed a countdown. Finale in 3 o'clock. 2:59. 2:58. Jade saw it. What happens when it hits 0? Rena looked at me, eyes wet. Noah, what did you do? And I remembered what the girl said. It was never supposed to go viral. This thing, the stream, it was meant to be a one-way ritual. A bridge between signal and soul. But the internet doesn't do one way. People comment, clip, remix. They interact. And that opened the gate wider than it was ever meant to be. At 2:10 left, a voice came through the phone. Max's voice. Hey guys. Welcome back. Super grateful for the growth lately. Let's do a little Q&A. It was a live AI-generated version of Max, spliced together from his old content. Fake. Manufactured. But alive in the feed. People watching it didn't know the difference. They thought it was a prank. A viral campaign. A new genre of horror marketing. And that was feeding it even more. At 1:32 left, we saw the sky open. Not metaphorically. It ripped, like someone unzipping the atmosphere. And through the terrain, we saw screens, millions of them, all showing us. Jade whispered it's turned reality into a live stream. The air buzzed, our skin pixelated. Rena's scream stuttered like a glitched soundbite. My vision filled with chat bubbles, comments floating midair, emojis warping in real time. And at 0:45 seconds left, I saw the original girl, standing where the rip had started. Only now she looked like me. She had my face, my voice, my username, the final host. The stream had chosen. At 0:30 seconds, I made a choice. I turned the camera to the sky, to the watchers, to the millions feeding it. And I said, stop watching. Jade joined me. Shut your phones. Rena sobbed the words through clenched teeth. Log out. We screamed it, chanted it, over and over. And as the countdown hit 0:10, we saw the viewer count drop. One by one. Hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands. People were listening. At 0:01, the feed flickered. The sky stitched itself shut. And everything went dark. Darkness. Not just the absence of light, something thicker. Like the black static you see when your TV loses input. The sound was gone. The cold was gone. Even the pain in my ribs, the cuts on my hands, gone. For a moment, I thought I was dead. Then, a spark. Like an old CRT television powering on. And light returned. Not from the sun. From a phone screen. I was lying in the dirt near the cabin ruins. The building was gone. Like it had been melted down into ash and static. The trees were trees again, normal, quiet, still. Jade was lying a few feet away, curled up, breathing. Her hand twitched as she stirred. Rena was farther back, sitting up slowly with her arms around her knees, face streaked with tears and soot. We were alive. We were back. But something was still wrong. My phone buzzed in my hand. No app was open. No notifications. Just a video of me, smiling, on loop. I stood slowly, knees trembling. We didn't say anything at first. Just looked at each other, hearts thudding in silence. Then Rena broke it. Did we stop it? Jade didn't answer. She just stared at the phone in my hand. What's that playing? I turned it to show them. It was a clip, no timestamp, no platform, no username. Just me standing alone in the burned cabin, whispering into the camera. You're still watching, aren't you? Rena backed away, shaking her head. No, we shut it down. We ended the stream. Did we? I whispered, because suddenly, my phone wasn't in my hand anymore. It was in the clip's hand, and I was the one watching. The forest shimmered, the sunlight bent, and in the distance, applause echoed. Slow, hollow, like a laugh track glitching in a loop. Jade clenched her fists. We didn't close the stream. We just changed channels. That's when we found the towers. 3 of them, hidden deeper in the woods. Massive steel skeletons like radio masts, stretching up into the sky. They weren't there before, but now they hummed low, bone-deep vibration that made the hair on my arms stand up. And each one had a screen, a looping video. Max, Tyler, the girl, each on a different tower, broadcasting in silence. Stuck, not alive, not dead, just buffering forever. Rena fell to her knees. We didn't kill it. We fed it. No, I said. We taught it how to go off-platform. No more apps. No more likes. It didn't need TikTok anymore. It had real estate now. Signal towers, antennas, physical broadcast points. We'd given it shape. Jade turned to me. Then we burn it. What? These towers. We take them down. One by one. Rena's face twisted. And then what? You think people are gonna forget? There are millions of phones out there with that video still saved. Reposted. Mirrored. You can't burn all of it. Jade's eyes were glassy. Then we do what we can. Or we become the next faces in the stream. We used branches, debris, old camera gear from the shed ruins. The fire caught fast. The first tower crumbled, sparks showering the trees. Max's face vanished. Then the second tower. Tyler's image blinked out. But when we reached the third, the girl's tower, It was already burning. Not from us. From inside. Flames poured from the seams of the structure, curling upward in unnatural spirals. And on the screen, the girl smiled one last time, then looked up, straight into the sky, and waved goodbye. That night, we walked until we reached the edge of the forest. No signs, no fences, just out. We found a gas station, a real one, lit, warm, staffed. We didn't talk about what happened. We told the cops we'd been hiking and got lost. Phones dead, memory spotty. They believed us, because no one had seen the stream. It had been erased. Except, 2 days later, a clip went viral on YouTube, low res, 8 seconds. It showed a forest, a flash of static, a girl in white standing in the trees. Title, Found Footage from the Dead Echo Woods? Millions of views in hours. People started reposting it, reacting to it. The comments were all the same. She looked at me. I can't sleep. I heard my name in the whisper. I deleted all my accounts, threw my phone in a lake, but I still see the buffer icon in my dreams. And sometimes, when I look in the mirror, my reflection smiles before I do. 3 weeks. That's how long we stayed quiet. No new uploads, no media, no mentions. We split up, thinking it would be safer. Jade went north off-grid. Rena moved in with cousins in another state. And I just disappeared. No phone, no email. I even paid cash for a burner laptop I kept powered off in a storage unit. But the world didn't forget, because the clip resurfaced again. Different version this time. High-res, full color. And I wasn't just in it, I was narrating. Except I never recorded that audio. I saw it by accident. A guy in a coffee shop was watching it on loop. No headphones. I heard my own voice drifting from his phone saying, "When you stare into the feed stares back." My heart stopped. I asked him where he got it. He looked confused. Saw it on Instagram Reels. It's trending under hashtag #EchoWoods. Trending. That word set my blood on fire. I left the shop. That night I found a public library. Sat in the back corner. Opened a machine I hadn't touched in weeks. Typed in hashtag #EchoWoods. And there it was. Thousands of posts. Some real. Some obviously fake. But woven between them, clips I didn't remember filming. Footage from inside the cabin that couldn't exist. People were sharing it like it was a new ARG. Commenting like it was entertainment. And all of them were being watched. I found Jade the next day. She'd been living in a tent off a mountain highway using rainwater to drink. Her first words weren't hello or are you okay? They were, have you seen the mirrors? I didn't answer. She opened her tent flap and showed me one. A broken car side mirror. At first, it looked normal. But the longer I stared, the reflection glitched. Not the background. Me. I blinked once. And my reflection didn't blink back. Jade had collected 3 more. All the same. They weren't mirrors anymore. They were feeds. Trapped loops of our images, stuck mid-expression, smiling, frowning, screaming. Whatever we stopped, she whispered, it left copies. Like backup files. I nodded slowly. And now it's reinstalling itself. She pointed at a grainy Polaroid taped to the mirror. It showed a face. Mine. Except the eyes were white. And written under it in black marker. Noah uploaded. We burned the mirrors that night. Jade kept watch while I smashed each one and tossed the shards into a trash fire. But when the flames turned green, we ran. We knew what that color meant. Signal. Resync. Broadcast. We found Rena the next day. Or rather, she found us. Banged on our door just before dawn. Eyes bloodshot. Hands scraped. There's another cabin, she gasped. We stared. No, I said. That one burned. She shook her head. Not that one. Another. Just went up in the past week. North of the ridge. It's identical. Jade's voice was thin. How do you know? Rena pulled out a photo. Not digital. Printed. It showed the same porch. Same windows. Same number of steps. But in this one, the stream was already running. You could see the tripod in the window. We didn't wait. We loaded supplies, used burner phones, took back roads through 3 counties. It was there. Exactly as she said. Perfectly rebuilt. Like a copied file dropped into a new folder. The trees around it were younger, greener. The air clearer. But the dread exactly the same. And outside the cabin, a girl stood. Not the original one. This one was maybe 16. Hoodie. Earbuds. holding a phone up to her face. Streaming. I slammed the brakes. She turned to look at us. Her mouth moved, but the voice that came out wasn't hers. It was mine. Not current me. Old me. From our very first stream. Yo, what's up guys? We're live at Dead Echo Cabin. She smiled, then turned the camera back toward the house. Inside, we saw them. Viewers. Not online, in person. 20 or 30 people sitting silently on folding chairs, watching a big screen set up against the wall. What was on it? Us. The original feed. The girl stepped in and shut the door, and the lights dimmed. I grabbed the backpack and ran. Jade and Rena followed. We kicked the door open and the people didn't turn, didn't blink. They just watched, eyes wide, as the video played, over and over. On the screen, I saw myself turning toward the camera. Then static. Then a new scene. One that hadn't happened yet. Me tied to a chair, screaming. Jade's voice in the background, "Don't look at the mirror." Then black. The stream reset, and the crowd kept watching, smiling. I grabbed a chair and smashed the screen. Sparks flew. Glass shattered. The people didn't move, but one by one they began to bleed from the eyes. Then their mouths. Then their screens. Each person had a phone on their lap, all still streaming. One phone fell to the floor. The feed on it updated. New caption. Season 2, live now. I dropped it like it burned, because for the first time I realized we hadn't stopped anything. We'd started something bigger. A franchise. We left the second cabin in silence. The sky had gone completely white. No sun, no clouds, just that cold, blank nothingness that looked less like weather and more like a default background. It felt like we were walking through a loading screen. The audience didn't follow us. The streaming girl didn't reappear. But the phones, every single one of them, kept filming, streaming, uploading. And on every screen, our faces moved in sync. Even when we weren't moving. Jade finally spoke after an hour of walking. They weren't people. I didn't ask what she meant. We both knew. They had bodies, eyes, phones. But when I looked at them, I didn't see people. I saw placeholders. Like the kind of faceless characters you drop into a crowd to make a scene feel full. Except these ones breathed, and bled, and watched. We made it back to the highway. 3 cars passed without slowing. No one picked us up. Not that I blamed them. 3 dust-covered 20-somethings emerging from the woods like escapees from an asylum. But then a pickup truck did pull over. Old man behind the wheel. Heavy boots. A look that said, "Don't mess with me." He didn't ask questions. Just jerked his head toward the back. We climbed in. The sun never came back. He dropped us off outside a diner. Not a corporate one, a real roadside one. Dusty vinyl booths. Fluorescent lights that buzzed overhead. We sat down in a corner booth. The waitress, middle-aged, looked at us like she'd seen ghosts. "You from Echo Ridge?" she asked. We said nothing. She nodded like that was answer enough. "Coffee?" We all nodded. She poured 3 cups without asking if we wanted sugar or cream. Then she walked away, slow and heavy, like every step was weighed down by regret. Rena stared into her cup. "I think it's inside the algorithm now," she whispered. Jade looked up. "You mean it's using TikTok again?" "No," Rena said. "Not just TikTok. The algorithm. All of them. Every social media platform uses machine learning to predict what you want, what you like, what you'll share." She looked at us. "What if this thing figured out how to feed it?" I got cold. You know that feeling when you realize you left your front door open all night? That crawling unease that tells you something has already come in? That's what it felt like. A TV above the diner bar buzzed. We looked up. News channel. Breaking: strange broadcast interruptions across US. Experts investigate phantom live stream glitching devices. Then footage. Grainy. Black and white. Of the cabin. Of us. Jade stood up, trembling. "We're on the news." "It's not news," I said. "It's still the stream." The channel flickered. A face appeared. The original girl. Only now she looked older. Like she'd aged with the signal. Her mouth moved in slow, unnatural ways. And when she spoke, it was with my voice. Everyone in the diner stopped. Forks paused mid-bite. Conversations cut off. All eyes turned to the screen. Then, one by one, people pulled out their phones and started filming us. Not the TV. Us. We ran. Out the back. Into the trees. Didn't stop until the diner was a memory behind us. No one chased us. But we felt the eyes. The followers. Not subscribers. Not fans. Literal followers. Copying our movements. Mimicking our decisions. Spreading the feed. That night, we found an abandoned church. We slept on the floor beneath a stained glass window that flickered between sunlight and static. In the morning, we found something scratched into the altar. Content is king. And under that, long live the stream. I don't think we're alive anymore. Not in the normal way. We breathe. We bleed. We fear. But every time we check a reflection, our movements are a half-second behind. Every time we speak, there's a whispered echo underneath. I used to think the girl was the ghost. Now I think she was just the pilot episode. And we're the spin-off. We stopped running. You can't outrun something that's everywhere. We didn't know where we were anymore. The forest looked like a memory loop, same crooked trees, same moss-covered stone, repeating over and over like a broken backdrop. Jade finally said it aloud. We're stuck in the feed. Not figuratively. Not digitally. Physically. The moment she said it, the world glitched. A flicker. A full reset. For a split second, I saw the cabin again. Max in the window. The static girl at my shoulder. The chat exploding in real time. And then snappy. We were back in the woods. I looked at my arms. They were wrong. Not injured. Not bruised. Just textured differently. Smoother. Like high-res renderings. Check your reflection, Jade whispered. There was a puddle nearby. We all leaned over it together. And there we were. But our mouths were moving on their own. Rena backed away, hands over her face. We didn't escape. We broadcasted ourselves into it. Her voice was breaking. This isn't a forest. It's a loop set. It's the background of a stream still going. We're just another filter. I stared into the puddle. And for a moment, my reflection looked disappointed in me. Then it blinked. And whispered. Don't stop watching. The trees around us shifted. Split. Opened. And in the clearing, we saw it. The final screen. Massive. Glowing. Floating above an obsidian platform. It showed every stream, every version, every re-upload of what we'd been through. It was a collage of horror. People screaming. Laughing. Watching. Some praying. Some bleeding. Some clapping. And in the center, always. Her. The original girl. Only now she stood on the screen, but also behind it. And also inside us. Jade whispered, "Why us?" The girl smiled. And the screen showed the answer. Clips of us. Before the cabin. Posting. Streaming. Sharing. Feeding the machine. We were the perfect vessels. We already knew how to go viral. All we needed was a ghost in the code. And now we were it. The screen flickered. A countdown began. New host upload, 059. 058. We screamed. Threw rocks. Smashed at the trees. Nothing broke. Nothing bled. It was all rendered now. Artificial. Scripted. We were in the content. I grabbed Jade and Rena's hands. Pulled them toward the center. If we're being broadcast, I said, then someone is watching. Rena blinked. You think we can reach them? If they're seeing this right now, I looked into the sky where the screen floated. Maybe we can tell them the truth. Jade nodded. Before we upload fully, we turned toward the screen, held up our hands, spoke in unison. This isn't a video. This is a signal. Every time you play it, it plays you back. Shut it down. Burn your feed. Close the loop. The screen paused. Buffering. Then, signal rejected. Upload paused. We gasped. The trees brightened. The texture of the ground rippled like sand. Then, the screen shattered. The sky peeled back. And light poured in. White. Blinding. Real. We woke up on the floor of the original cabin. The real one. Burned. Broken. And empty. No cameras. No phones. No Max. No signal. Just smoke and sun and the faint sound of birds. Rena cried. Jade laughed. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, whispering over and over. Close the loop. We walked out together. Down the ridge. Through the trees. Into a world that suddenly felt 3D again. Not perfect. Not healed. But real. And quiet. For now. But sometimes when the internet lags or my screen flickers, I swear I still see her in the pixels. Smiling. Waiting. And sometimes when I'm alone, I'll hear a ping. A whisper from my old phone. A ghost notification. And I'll see it just for a second. Live, one viewer. And the viewer is me.